Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Empower You event. It's an honor for me to be here, and hopefully you will learn something from this talk, but if not from this talk, certainly from one of the other events that we have today. I may actually be one of, the physician for some of you, but anyway, it's an honor to meet you if we haven't met yet. My name is James Liao. I'm one of the movement disorders staff at the clinic, and also have an appointment at CASE affiliated with the clinic. I was holding it upside down. Okay, so the outline for today's talk is very simple. I'm going to talk about technologies that can be used for the assessment of Parkinson's and also for the treatment of Parkinson's, and that part is very new. So pretty excited about that, okay? As a disclaimer, I have no financial relationship with any of the companies that I'm going to mention. I will mention several companies, and they're not paying me to make any of these statements, okay? So, technology for assessment. This is a slide from the Movement Disorders Society from around 2016 about how technology can help in assessing Parkinson's. This is pre-COVID. So even at that time, the concept was that there are various types of wearable sensors, or perhaps smartphones, perhaps ambient sensors, like a camera that is in the corner of the room monitoring how you walk, or there are even wireless techniques, like people can use similar to Wi-Fi technology to track how people walk around a room. There's a way to send that information through the network, through the internet, to your doctor or perhaps to family members. And this was the vision in 2016. Since COVID, COVID has really accelerated the use of teleneurology or telemedicine. So we really think that technologies can improve those virtual visits. I have a show of hands, it's optional, but if you or someone you know has done a virtual visit for your, with your neurologist, okay, a few hands. Oh, everyone, okay, good. This is good to know. So you will have experienced that the virtual exam is quite limited. If the video quality is good, you can see the tremor, but often the video quality isn't so great. It's grainy, it is a slow frame rate, and also it's very hard to do the gait exam. The camera always cuts off part of the body when we have people walk past the camera or walk away from the camera. These technologies can really help those virtual visits. Another way technology can help is that it can measure the symptoms over time. So when we have you come in for those visits, we ask questions like, how long does it take the medication to kick in? How long does it take to wear off? What time of day does it wear off? And it's often a struggle to figure out exactly how to answer those questions. The technology can help because it's continually tracking your symptoms over time. We should be able to just log in and say, oh, it looks like your tremor's coming back around noon every day. Let's move up that medicine so that we can treat those tremors. Okay, so we're going to be talking about wearable or portable devices. And I'm going to mention two specific companies that do this. One is Great Lakes Neurotechnologies, a local Cleveland company. They do have a booth outside. And a newer company, product is called Strive PD. I'm going to talk about both of them a little bit. But what can these do for you? So the first thing is that they can act as a medication reminder. If you have a system for remembering to take meds on time, that's great. You may not need this feature, but you are able to input your medication schedule into these apps, and then it sends you notifications when they're due, and you can mark if you actually take them or not. So even this level of information is useful for your neurologist, because when you come in for those visits, a lot of what we're doing is just adjusting medications, right? It can track your symptoms either actively or passively. So for instance, if you feel really off or you feel very anxious, there's ways to put that into the app. And then later your physician can look at that and try to figure out, if that was a result of the medicine or if we can make a medicine adjustment to make that go away. These things also passively monitor how you're moving, your walking distance, your tremor, your dyskinesia. The Great Lakes product, which is called Kinesia U, that can even monitor bradykinesia, which is pretty unique. And then it's a cloud platform, so you can share this data with your clinicians. I'm going to focus a little bit more on the Strive PD product. There's a reason why. You'll see that on a few slides. It's coming up, okay. So what can it do? So this thing is a smartphone app, and it's paired with an Apple Watch. And the Apple Watch allows it to measure tremor and dyskinesias all the time. You just put on the watch and it's measuring those things, okay? You can see a chart of how much tremor you're having, how much dyskinesia you're having, what time of day it happens. If we go on to the second panel, it actually tracks all of your physical activity. It can remind you to exercise. If we look at the third panel, you can log everything that's happening. You can log every time you actually take a medicine, when you're feeling good, when you exercised. And it shows you how your tremors or dyskinesias are related to those medicines. So those vertical lines on the chart, the chart second from the right, you see that the tremor is going up. You take the medicine and the tremor comes down, and then the tremor starts going up, meaning the medications are wearing off. You take the medicine again and the tremor goes down. So this level of information is useful for us as physicians, and it's useful for you. And you can bring this information to your physician in case you don't want to share it with them over the cloud. You can just show them these charts on the phone. One of the cool things about the Strive PD product is that it works with Siri. So you don't even have to open the phone to log this. And I'm going to show you, hopefully it's going to work. Hey Siri, log on time. Hey Siri, log medications.
What medication?
Cinemet.
What medication?
Cinemet.
What medication?
It worked earlier. Cinemet.
How many pills?
1.
Log Cinemet.
Okay, so maybe the internet connection is slow, I don't know, but that's how easy it is. You don't actually have to open the app, you don't have to type anything, that's it, okay? This is the kind of data that your clinician can get from these devices. So this is from the Strive PD product, although the Kinesia U product is very similar, okay? If you have DBS, if you have Medtronic DBS, the Strive PD product pulls in information from your DBS, okay? That's a huge advantage of this product. If you don't have DBS, the text is kind of small and I don't, does this have a pointer? Oh, it does, okay. It's pointing, it's showing us where your tremor is, where your dyskinesia is over the course of a 24-hour day. We can see when you take your meds, when you're sleeping, if you have any falls, and how physically active you are. So we can see the data over one day, over every day that you're wearing the device. The level of detail is there, and this kind of information actually does come in useful for you and for your clinician. So you may have some concerns about how much this costs or what the privacy implications are. The Strive PD product, it doesn't actually send any information to the cloud unless you want it to send the information to the cloud, okay? So you can use it with no cloud connection and it's completely free. If you do want the cloud connection, the company, it's still free. And the company will actually give you an Apple Watch if you don't have one. And they will give you an iPhone if you don't have one. The iPhone doesn't have a data plan though. So you have to use Wi-Fi. So this thing is available now on the App Store. If you want to download it, We can do that right now. Highly encourage you to do that either with this app or another app that does the same thing. In my opinion, this is probably the easiest to use app that I'm aware of. Currently, we have one Cleveland Clinic patient who's using this app where there's a cloud connection. If you just download the app using this QR code, it doesn't automatically have the cloud connection. You have to sign up for that separately. And it doesn't automatically give you the Apple Watch. But if you go to the app, or if you go to that website, www.strive.group, you can basically apply for those things, okay? So this is the first exciting thing that I wanted to share with you, is the availability of this app, okay? Oh, I have some questions, yes. That's a great question. So this app does not work for Android, because it uses the Apple built-in features. But if you don't have an Android, again, they're going to give you an iPhone and an Apple Watch to use with the app. Another question, yes. This company is, to my knowledge, they're not here today. The other company, Kinesia U, they are here. That one is different in that they require a physician to prescribe it. We actually can prescribe it. I have prescribed it before. So if you're interested in that, talk to your physician. We can just put in a prescription for it for you. Does the Great Lakes Neurotechnology solution work for Android? I believe, oh yes, I'm seeing a thumbs up. Yes, it does. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the second half of my talk. The second half is about treatment devices, technologies for treatment of Parkinson's, and this is brand new, very exciting stuff, okay? To give you some examples of the things that are being researched, there's a technology called ear-stim. It looks like a hearing aid, and it's got three little, it's got three little electrodes that give your skin little stimulation shocks, and we don't know why it works, but by simply wearing that and receiving those shocks in the muscles around your ear, tremors and the slowness and the stiffness of Parkinson's actually gets better, okay? So the phase 1 clinical trial has already ended. The phase 2 clinical trial is gonna be sometime in 2024, and this is very exciting stuff, okay? We're actually waiting for Hubert Fernandez to write the paper. He was one of the investigators on that study, okay? Stanford has a similar technology. It's a vibrating glove. You may have seen this on 60 Minutes. I think it was on 60 Minutes around 1 year ago. What it does is it's not electrical stimulation, but you have little vibrators on each of your fingertips, and they vibrate your fingertips with a certain pattern. And the pattern is optimized to desynchronize the tremor part of the brain, or the Parkinson's part of the brain, okay? And what they showed is if you wear this device, it actually makes Parkinsonian symptoms better. So they're currently not recruiting, but they have 3 Parkinson's studies that are on the books to start at some point. I don't have the exact dates for you on that. I wasn't able to find that on the internet. All right, so the last 2 are closer to the market or already on the market. So the first device I want to show you is called the Kala Kick. This company, they are actually out there. They have a table out there. What is it? It looks like a smartwatch. It's not exactly a smartwatch. It is a device that you wear on your wrist, and then it measures the tremor, okay? So if you have postural or action tremor, it measures it, and then it stimulates your wrist. It stimulates the skin on your wrist in a certain way that somehow cancels out the tremor or reduces the tremor. It was originally used in people with essential tremor, but it actually is now approved for people with Parkinson's tremor. It's specific for Parkinson's postural and action tremor. So that's a little bit strange because we think of Parkinson's with resting tremor, but if you have a large amount of postural or kinetic tremor and you have Parkinson's, this is actually FDA approved for you as well. There is some evidence that suggests that it actually makes resting tremor and bradykinesia better as well, but that's currently not on the FDA indications. Yes? The next one will, okay. So if you're interested in that, you can ask your doctor about it, or please stop by the CALA booth outside, okay? The last one that I will talk to you about is augmented reality technologies, which are, that's an image of someone wearing this headset, and it displays digital images, virtual images in the real world space. And we have several studies going on to see if these technologies can improve walking and freezing of gait specifically, okay? Of note, there is one company that is currently FDA approved to offer this kind of therapy in the US. To my knowledge, they haven't actually entered the market, they're just FDA approved. And their Cleveland Clinic is actually an official partner with that company, okay? Okay, so the premise of these augmented reality technologies is that visual cueing can help with gait. So visual cueing is not a new concept, but if people have gait impairment or freezing, if we simply put horizontal lines on the floor, this gentleman is wearing a laser device that projects these lines onto the ground. If you simply have the lines on the floor, it gives you something to aim towards when walking. That alone can reduce gait freezing and improve gait stability. So there's laser lines. You can actually just paint lines onto the floor. Obviously, this doesn't work in the real world. You can't always have a laser device projecting lines in front of you. So that's where augmented reality comes in. So I actually have an augmented reality device right here. This is called the Magic Leap 2. It is probably the best device currently on the market. It's pretty small. It doesn't really look like normal glasses. It has a battery pack and a computer pack that you have to wear on your waist. So this is not the end goal. This is an incremental step, okay? We believe that eventually augmented reality will look just like regular glasses. We're not there yet. Maybe it's 5 years away, maybe it's 10 years away, but we have something to work with now, okay? So what this does is it draws these circular lines on the ground as if you were wearing a laser device that could project circular lines onto the ground, okay? It's very simple. And I'm gonna show you what that looks like from first-person view. So we have come up with an experiment where we put people through an obstacle course, which is designed to be difficult. It's designed to trigger gait instability and gait freezing. And we're comparing how people walk with these lines that are taped to the floor versus with these augmented reality cues. Okay, can you advance to the next part of the video? So the concept is you're holding a clicker, you press the button, and the lines turn on the floor, giving you something to walk towards or walk over. We are currently evaluating how well this works to alleviate gait freezing, okay? And if you are interested, we can actually set this up in the room afterwards so you can try it yourself. This is the kind of data that we can get out of the device. So these curved lines on the right are the path that the person is taking through the obstacle course. The thicker parts are where people have freezes. So the freezes happen when people are making tight turns, which those of you who have freezing gait know that that's where it happens. Or as people are walking through tight doorways or navigating tight spaces, that tends to be when freezing happens. So our preliminary data so far, we're looking at the percent time freezing, and there is a statistically significant reduction in the percent time freezing when people are using these cues versus when they're not using the cues. The most promising part of our work is that 86% of the people who have gone through our trial say that they would actually use this every day in the real world if it were possible. So it's not really possible now. Again, the device is kind of large, and it'll run out of batteries. It doesn't last all day. But if we go back to the slide, you'll see that the roadmap for these kinds of devices is that they're getting smaller and smaller. So this is the one that I have up here, Magic Leap 2. It just came out last year. These things are getting smaller and smaller, and this is what we think that Facebook will eventually release. Okay, it's not there now. The current devices are, if you are following this technology, like Apple just released their Vision Pro device. It's great, but it's still not there. So that's where we expect things will be eventually, 5 years, 10 years down the line. But this is very promising technology. We have a project that is currently already done recruiting, the one that I'm working on. Those of you who've done projects with the Alberts Lab, they have a very similar thing set up for you to try in the room with the tables and the food. So if you have a chance, please check it out. And that's it.
All right, thanks, Dr. Liao. So if anybody has questions or want to see his device that he has with him, you feel free to come up to the front, and you can do that. There's also going to be, right next door in this room, cardio drumming to try out. It's really great, Parkinson-specific, led program. There's all the exhibitor halls out that you can kind of stop by and see what they have. And then there's the food and everything. So this is kind of a move at your own pace day. But right now, the next timed thing is going to be next door for the cardio drumming. And then there'll be another talk in here in about 40 minutes, and that will be about the new medications. So feel free to do whatever you'd like to next.